Mike's Daily Podcast.
F is a F981.
Is it?
81 today.
981, wow. I haven't been keeping up, unfortunately.
We're less than 20 away from 1,000.
Dramatic organ music here.
Or we'll just use my mouth going, it's the return of the much-loved feature today called Into an Interview, where I'll be speaking with Ed Roman. He's a songwriter.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And he sings. And it's Mike Matthews. We're here at Cafe Anyway. Haley is back. Yay.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Haley, 30 years ago, Wham gave us a Christmas song that has been played a billion times on the radio for you to sing along with. The song is called Last Christmas, and Taylor Swift covered it about 5 years on in the past, and Jimmy Eat World did it, but you didn't ask. Hey, I've been having a lot of Christmas, hearing a lot of
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I've been hearing a lot of Christmas songs lately. Have you?
Not really.
Mike's Daily
Podcast.
Christmas time.
Yeah.
You haven't heard a lot of...
I don't really listen to the radio that much anymore.
Oh.
I'm just not near a radio because I don't drive, so I don't have the radio in the car unless I'm driving around with someone.
Right.
So I have heard it, when I'm in a car with someone, but in general.
You've heard the Taylor Swift version of Last Christmas?
I've heard the Taylor Swift version of Last Christmas. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away.
And George Michael's version has a synthesizer, the bam, 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 bam kind of thing.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away. I don't know why I never made that connection that was a Wham song. Like, it sounds so much like Credit Card Baby.
Who's Credit Card Baby?
One of their songs. One of Wham's songs.
What?
Yeah.
Did you just mention a Wham song that I didn't know?
It's like... It was off of their most famous album.
Oh, really? That one that had their songs. Wake me up before you go.
Or maybe it's just an anthology that I was listening to, but it's
everything she wants is everything she needs.
That's the one.
I bet it.
It's everything she needs.
And you called it the Credit Card song?
It's Credit Card Baby. That's what it's called.
Credit Card Baby?
Credit Card Baby.
No,
it's all about how this girl keeps spending his money.
It's called Everything She Wants.
I don't know what the hell you want from me.
I can't work any harder than I do. Somebody tell me. Won't you tell me?
I work so hard for you.
To give you money.
Won't you give me money?
Oh! Wow. Yeah, that was a great song.
It's a good song. I swear it's called Credit Card Baby.
It's not, but that's all right. That's why I'm thinking you're thinking, did somebody cover it and maybe mash it up with another thing and call it Credit Card Baby?
No, it was a Wham song.
And don't forget the other song from that seminal album. Careless Whisper of
the Dance. Which gave us that wonderful...
Sax Man.
Sexy Sax Man.
Which is hilarious, you know that.
Sexy Sax Man is actually a person who you can hire to go and play this saxophone solo to someone around the campus of Orange College, which... Give me this. Hear me on this.
Yes.
Which is in the city of Azusa, California. Right between the two campuses of Azusa Pacific University. So I walked by that college every single day when I was in college. The dorms are on one campus and some classrooms, and then you would go up the street, and on that corner was Orange College, and then you'd go you'd turn and go down the street a little bit, and the second campus of Azusa was right there. So,
and my friend from high school, Mike Daly, worked for Orange College, was helped get students from other countries to come to the college, I think. He was like a foreign exchange guy.
I'm sorry, did you say that you had a friend called Mike Daly?
And my name's Mike, and this is Mike's Daily Podcast.
So you could have Mike's Daily Podcast, or you could have Mike Daly's podcast.
Oh, wow. I wonder why Mike Daly and I have not had this discussion yet.
It's a good discussion to have.
Mike Daly would not ever want to do a podcast. He's kind of a shy guy. He's a great guy, but I don't know if he'd want to do a podcast where, like, we talk, you and I. There was a guy I interviewed, I'm looking it up now on mikesdailypodcast.com, several years ago. I think this is back when the show... this guy. Paul Dempsey.
Paul Dempsey. It sounds familiar. I don't know why.
He's from Australia. Mm-hmm. He and I discussed Saxophone Man. Because he was talking about how that's such a catchy saxophone riff.
It is. That's why it got so big.
I'm so glad we started off this show talking about Wham.
Yeah, I love Wham.
I don't want your freedom. I just want to hang around.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want your body, baby, but your love just brings me down.
And you gotta have faith.
George Michael solo.
Gotta have faith. Yeah, it's true.
Which also had, I will be your father figure. Put your tiny hand in mine.
Song.
I will be your teacher, preacher, anything you have in mind. That was a big album. Had Monkey on it. Why can't you do it? Why can't you set your monkey free?
I don't know that one. I do know the Beatles classic written and mostly performed by John Lennon all by himself, which is everybody's got something to hide except for me and my monkey.
John Lennon recorded that all by himself?
Almost. I mean, the rest of the band was there. It was on the White Album.
Huh.
Yep.
I need to listen to the White Album again.
Oh, there's some gems on that.
Who was your favorite Beatle?
George Harrison.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So that guy I interviewed, Frankie Denal.
Yeah.
He's the one I told him he sounded like George Harrison. He's like, yeah, you're like the first person to say that. I like John Lennon more. But did you like George Harrison because of his deeply spiritual, mystical side?
A little bit. I liked his guitar work. I liked I liked his guitar work. I liked his sitar work.
Oh, yeah.
I liked his snarky songwriting.
Yeah.
Like in It's Only a Northern Song.
How does that one go?
It only got released on the Yellow Submarine movie and the album that had the music from the Yellow Submarine movie.
Oh, really?
And
that's a cartoon.
It's an extremely noisy experimental tune.
Oh.
And it was George Harrison's reaction to the fact that he was getting paid less per song.
No way.
Compared to
the Lennon-McCartney
pair. And so all of his songs are like, it doesn't really matter what happens in this song or what I do or what I wear or who I'm with, because it's only a Northern Song, because that was their record company.
That's interesting.
That was their publishers.
Do you know one interesting thing about U2, and this is the only interesting thing, is that all their songs are written by U2.
Yeah.
Because even though Bono and Adam, or The Edge, wrote most of the stuff, they wanted the guys to all have. And there was an interview I heard with Bono, and he's like, yeah, and Adam Clayton and Larry Mulligan, they don't do too much writing, but that's okay.
Well, with the Beatles and the Lennon-McCartney pair, it was kind of similar, where especially during the White Album period, and anything past, like, Revolver and Sgt. Pepper, like, their songwriting was very distinct from each other.
Oh.
And you can tell very much the difference. Like, this is a Lennon song, this is a McCartney song. They have very distinct songwriting styles.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was until Let It Be that they actually got back into writing songs together.
Oh.
Because that was kind of their final push to just get stuff out. And, yeah, but they kept the Lennon/McCartney songwriting credit for every single one of those songs.
Because Paul's got a very poppy side. He's very poppy, isn't he, when you say, or no?
Well...
You're making a face that would imply that you're saying no.
In a way, he had a little bit more soul, and he liked to go a little bit more to the
ATM?
I don't really know how to describe it. Like, it was a little bit more on the soulful side, but John Lennon's stuff was very kind of cheesy poppy.
Really?
Like, when he would be pumping songs out, he'd be like, everybody's got something to hide except for me and my monkey. Stuff like that. And,
but he was more political, wasn't he?
he was more political about stuff. He was more like, I'm going to slip stuff into my songs that is very clearly an innuendo for something, but then I'm going to deny it every step of the way. Hence, Happiness is a Warm Gun, Me and My Monkey, various other songs that there's been controversy within the Beatles.
Paul wrote Yesterday, right?
Paul did write Yesterday.
And
Paul wrote The Long and Winding Road.
Oh.
Paul wrote the slow stuff. Paul wrote Hey Jude.
That's right. And he wrote that to John Lennon's son, right?
Hey Jude.
That was the song that was number 1 on the charts when I was born.
Ooh, congrats.
But it was never on an album, right? I mean, it wasn't released on an album. It was released as a single, and then you had to get it later on like a collection or something. It was
number 1. That's what it was called. All the number 1 singles.
Right.
They put it on an album called Number 1, and that was my first Beatles album.
That's the bright orange red album, yellow thing.
And I listened to it over and over again, and I was like, oh, the Beatles are pretty good. And then I listened to all the other Beatles stuff, and I was like, oh, the Beatles are really good. And then...
Interesting. Yeah. Yes, I'm so interested in the Rolling Stones. Oh, wait, no, it's a different band.
No.
Please permit me to introduce myself. I'm a man of something mean.
Constant Sorrow?
No, I was trying to do the song that Rolling Stones do. Woo, 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 woo. Sympathy for the Devil.
Yeah.
So here we didn't find out because you were gone for a couple days. What happened?
I was sick.
Oh.
I was sick. I was all sneezy, and then I got better from the sneezy, and then I had a huge headache.
Ugh.
Like it faded. Like I got done with one sick part, and then I went into the headache, and then I threw up and felt a lot better.
The throwing up helped you with the headache?
God, this is gonna sound so weird, but I adore throwing up. Because it means that, like, whatever happened before I was throwing up is over. And it feels so good.
You're on to a new stage.
Because there's so much pressure in my head, usually, before I throw up. And then I throw up, and it gets released. And I'll be honest, I spent
Do your brains come out of your mouth? What happens?
Kind of. Like, I spent my childhood throwing up. I had chronic migraines growing up.
Oh,
So
my gosh.
It's not like it's this foreign, like... horrible thing that I can't stand.
Have you
I've
seen
done
a
it so many
doctor?
times, I'm used to it. Yes, I've seen a doctor. I've seen so many doctors. I had like a dedicated neurologist working with me.
Whoa.
I went to see him speak one time when they were opening a new building at our hospital, and I threw up in the hallway.
You've got to be kidding me. How are you alive right now? How are you talking into this microphone?
I survived. Apparently,
can I tell you
because I was allergic to gluten, wheat.
And there we go.
Yep.
Damn gluten. I hate throwing up. As does my mom.
I'm sure.
We're just not throw-uppers.
No, I know I'm very unusual about that, but I seriously do not mind it.
Okay. Well, we hope you weren't eating breakfast or lunch or dinner while you were listening to this podcast today.
You probably are. I don't care.
If you are, whatever. But thank you so much for listening. What else did... I'm so mad about Doctor Who. Can we do the Mike's completely unnecessary review? Wait, what do we call it? Mike's absolutely useless review.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
So my useless review of Doctor Who as Haley is scratching Haley's eyes out because Haley's like, I hate Stephen Moffat. Why did Stephen Moffat take over Doctor Who? It's terrible. Okay, that was my review. So the last one, I think, is where he goes back to Gallifrey. So that's interesting.
Yeah, because Gallifrey's back or something.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense.
So that's great. And then, what else are we going to talk about now? There's the thing about the...
We're slightly pressed for time.
We're pressed for time, Haley.
Well, we should probably get to the interview.
Why don't we talk about my website real quick?
Yeah, sure. MikeSaleyPodcast.com.
It's got places where you can listen to the show all over the place. Oh, and we have this little thing we're doing right now.
Mike's Yuletide personalized MP3 for thee contest.
The Yuletide personalized MP3 for thee contest. So send us a Christmas greeting, and we'll read it here on Mike's Daily Podcast. And if we do that, you'll get a greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. Yay.
We will help to make the season bright.
You can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, or over, you can reply at the Twitter, Facebook. Find where you can find us everywhere is at mikesdailypodcast.com. We got past interviews, the podcast picture, and the blog.
Tumblr has a fancy new messaging system, so you could fancy new messaging Mike on that. Because he doesn't have it, and it works like a virus.
Do I have to set that up?
No, you have to be messaged by someone that has Messenger in order to get Messenger.
Have you messaged me yet?
I have not messaged you, so I should do that. Or if someone else out there wants to infect Mike, mikeblogs.tumblr.com.
All right, so we're going to do the Ed Roman interview, the first part of a two-parter, and hear some of his music. Cool. And when we come back, we have a quick visit from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Okay.
Into an interview.
Hey, is that Mike Matthews?
Is that Ed Roman?
It is.
Ed, how are you?
Sir, it's been a couple years. I'm well. How are you?
Good. Where did the time go?
I don't know. It just flies.
It certainly does. And I just had a birthday, and it made me feel so old.
Happy birthday. Well, how old did you turn?
47.
Well, we're in good company. We're right around the same age. So, you know what? Don't worry about it.
But you've achieved so much in your life.
Haven't we all?
You've grown things, you've made music, you've done all kinds of... I want to talk about all these interesting humanitarian things and stuff you've done.
Okay.
So, you're an impressive man that I must live up to.
Well, we all learn from each other, man. That's the way I look at it. Good and bad.
That's true, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're talking about time and birthdays and things like that, and, you can't help but not think about your own mortality sometimes. And as a kid, you start thinking to yourself, wow, it's great to be alive. And some of the things even my nieces and nephews have said to me in the past, because they're so much younger than I am, and when I was like babysitting and stuff, it'd be like, resetting the hook in me as to what life really is. And like to me, it's like music, man. It never really ends. That's why I think you've got old souls and young souls, and I guess what I was trying to get at is that impression that you have is like, well, am I going to die? And eventually your demise or getting older, and all of that's proximity to where you need to be, man. Because there's so many things in our society that are telling us we have to behave a certain way. You can't look old. God forbid you look old and have gray hair. Color your beard, color your hair. All of those kinds of things. For women, it's like cosmetics and skin cream and da-da. Age is a part of life, man. And,
yeah.
When I look at my grandparents, sometimes I kind of relish that moment in time, too, despite I'm in my 40s. But, like I said, I don't think it ever ends. I think you just keep going on and on.
That's right, because there's no finish line.
No.
To quote a Nike ad.
The finish line is made by us, and what we define ourselves as in this moment and what we did with our lives. Because I think, that also, as cornily as it is, or cosmic as it is, it has great bearing on the afterlife, or the things that are to come, or the impressions that you leave for even the next people that witness what was there. You know, whether it's something that's artistic or a gesture, or, you know, something in some way that's helped people. I think that's a part of it too, right?
Yeah, and you helped a lot of people lately with your two songs, Jamaica and Lay One Down. And I'm segueing.
Well, it's good. I mean, segues are right, and they're important. But no, yeah, I mean, we're always trying to give back in some way. That's what I think music is in general. You know, despite that we try to commodify it and make a living from it, it's also something that is a necessity in an artisan's life. The reason that we do what we do is because we want to give back somehow. And that just goes hand in hand with lifestyle. So Jamaica and the song Jamaica, and doing the things that my wife and I have been doing there for a number of years now, is just helping people in rural communities that need food, water, clothing, articles for kids for school, whether it be books or writing material or anything that they have a hard time getting a hold of, or at the same time that it's an expense to them that is really, you know, hard for them to sort of make happen. So we send shipping barrels, you know, 3 or 4 at a time, or usually 6 to 8 a year, to different people, and they open them up and they use stuff. So that's it. We don't want anything back. We just collect over the course of the year, and once we have enough stuff, I mean, man, you go to a dollar store and there's like 5 bars of soap for $1. So it's like you can do that and not, you know, break your bank. And by shipping it in a barrel, and there's multiple places, Leparcan is one of the places we use here in Canada, it's so much cheaper because it's only $55 a barrel. And $55 on the other end. So you pay that tariff ahead of time. So it's like $100, $110 plus tax, and all that stuff gets there in 4 to 6 weeks. So that's what we're trying to do. And then I buy guitars when we go there, and I teach kids for free, and then I give the guitars away to whoever, you know. You see kids that have a spark. I mean, a lot of kids have sparks, but, you know, the idea is it's your instrument. You learn from other people. Try to show what you've learned to other people and pass it along. It's that sort of hand-to-hand combat thing. And then the Lay One Down thing with the Veterans Association has been really great. Jill Palvel from Heart Songs for Veterans, they approached me. She's out of New Jersey, and I was down there in the past year doing some playing. So it's an honor. Like, I've been doing a lot of writing and working on this new record for the release of 2016. So this song and the subject matter fit really well with everything that's kind of going on. And you can go to iTunes and you can download it. The proceeds go to people that need it. There's a lot of vets that I've met a lot of people I've met over the last year and a half of playing in the U.S. and Canada that, you know, don't have any support from a financial level for, you know, anything. So, you know, they're missing arms and legs and lost part of their spirit in some cases, and their souls in some cases, their lives. But all the money is going to help those people. And it's an honor to do that and be a part of it. And the lyrics themselves are really, you know, they're not a Trojan horse by any standard. I mean, words have many metaphors to many people, but ultimately I'm trying to, with the song Lay One Down, getting people into the idea that to lay your anger down, to lay your arms down. One of the hardest things that we have to deal with in the human condition is the fight or flight mechanism to aggression. And you know, as much as I am a pacifist, I still get angry about things, but I try not to let it get to the point where I'm physically hurting people. And ever, you know, and in some cases, the mechanism of war, despite so many people that are, you know, in the service have died, and over the last 150 years, there are millions and millions and millions of people that are civilians that are caught in the crossfire of what the byproduct of war is. And so hopefully those lyrics get people thinking about all those mechanisms and who's really profiting from it.
Wow. So, all right, and they can find Lay One Down where?
It's on iTunes. You can get it at iTunes. You can go over to Heart Songs for Veterans. There's links there. You can get links on my Facebook page, as well as my Twitter page. You can go over to SoundCloud. Eventually, you'll be able to listen to it. But the download is there on iTunes for people. Just type Heart Songs for Veterans. You'll see my mug there, Ed Roman. I look like I'm a new-aged hippie Uncle Sam pointing my finger at you. and you can buy that, and the money goes directly to the Veterans Association. So.
And it'll also be on an album?
Yeah, well, the band has, I've been, slowly putting together over the last 2.5, 3 months, over the recording process, a new record, and there's other instrumentation. Originally, when I was approached, they said they wanted an acoustic song, because they wanted that approach. And I was like, well, this is kind of where it's at. I just finished bedding and putting down the guitar part and the vocal part and some harmonies and a little bit of percussion, and I thought, well, this is perfect. It's not the full band arrangement. So it'll eventually end up on the new album, Red Omen.
Red Omen. Oh, okay.
It's a bit of an anagram of my own name, and the album itself sort of is describing that there are these things in our society that have dual meanings, and sometimes we know what they are, and sometimes we don't know what they are, and we behave based on how they look as opposed to what they really are. Red is... The album is called what it is because red in nature and in our lives is an attraction color. In nature, animals know you can eat certain kinds of berries, and birds come to brightly colored red flowers because they're pollinating, and bees. But at the same time, red is also a dangerous color in nature, where certain kinds of berries, again, and edibles are all highly poisonous. And then an omen, which is also like an anagram of my own name with the vowel play, but an omen can be like a negative thing. Like, that's a bad omen. Like, there's things that are happening all around us all the time in sort of the precursors of the moment where you go, this isn't going to turn out well. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, an omen is something like, well, I see it as a good omen. I see it as something that is positive, that is going to bring good change, despite we follow, that message. So there's a lot of that on the record, and inside of the subject matter, even the titles of the songs, and so yeah.
I'm excited to hear it. And Omen was also a scary 70s movie that came out when I was a kid, and it was what was his name? Damien was the devil.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
Damien, the first one, I think didn't that have? I'm trying to think.
Gregory Peck, I think.
Gregory Peck, that's right. And the fly scene in it.
Oh, flies?
Wasn't there tons of flies, cluster flying? And the priest came into the house, and he was he had to leave because he was being overwhelmed by the spirit.